So first of all, we are moving forward in our discussion. So yesterday, in previous class, we have completed TCP/IP client and server communication, and we have seen application also. And then, so we are moving to another kind of client and server mechanism, that is UDP client and server. So here, UDP, as you know already, the protocol, different kinds of protocol suite in starting class of the client and server. So one is TCP/IP protocol suite, so transmission control protocol and internet protocol. So here there will be another kind of protocol suite also be there, that is called as UDP, is a part of transport layer protocol. Transport layer protocol. So TCP/IP is also a part of transport layer protocol, and UDP is a kind of another protocol suite that is available in the transport layer. So as you know, UDP nothing but user datagram protocol. User datagram protocol. As we have seen different differences between UDP and TCP. So TCP is connection oriented protocol, and UDP is a connection-less protocol. Connection-oriented, connection-less doesn't mean that there is a physical connection. There is a physical connection between a client and server. So it is not meaning there will be having a physical media explicitly connected between the systems. Okay. So virtually connection oriented nothing but so while transporting the messages between client and server, so their communication will be happen continuously. Their communication between client and server will be continuously. Okay. So before transporting the messages, so they must be agreed upon using the three-way handshaking. So that indicates here the client, the next time onwards we are going to send the messages. So please receive that messages on behalf of myself, like this. And the server receive that acknowledgement and receive that information and sends the acknowledgement to the client that I am readily available to take your messages. So like this, a three-way handshaking will be happen between the client and server to obey that the communication happens in future. So like this, the communication existed between the client and server. So that kind of nature is called as here connection-oriented protocol. But here in UDP, so it is a connection-less protocol. So in connection-oriented, so generally, if that kind of a three-way handshaking happens between client and server, so then there is a 100% guarantee of transporting the messages to the destined to the destination successfully. Okay, and the flow of data is since the flow of data is also continuous, so that the information will be transported in a sequential manner between the client and server. So that is the nature of client connection oriented. But in the connection less, okay, so there is no guarantee. There is no guarantee of delivering the information between the sender and receiver, because here they are not agreed and they are not performing any three-way handshaking operations in the networks. Okay, so whenever any system or any process wants to send the information to the destination, so without verifying the status of the destination, whether the destination system is actively available and is readily available to take the messages or not, regardless of that status, any system can able to send the messages using UDP protocol. Okay, so that there is no guarantee for delivering the messages to the server, I mean to the system itself. Suppose if the system is not in a particular state to receive the messages, so then that situation, that definitely the messages may be destroyed while the information is transported over the connection. Okay, so like this, some sort of problems arise when UDP is used, but this kind of UDP is also very frequently used in the network for sending small size messages. Small size messages where the situation occurred if the system agreed that it doesn't happen, or it doesn't mean that there is no even that there is no guarantee of delivering the messages. Okay, nothing happened and there is no issue for not to receive those messages by the receiver. Okay, so if that situation satisfied, if that situation agreed by the sender, so then that senders can use the UDP protocol itself. Okay, so that's a difference between TCP and UDP protocol. Now we will see how using UDP protocol, so how the client and server has to be communicated here. So here two different kinds of classes must be used in our program. So one is datagram socket and another one is datagram packet. Datagram, nothing but the messages that will be transported using UDP. That message is called as here datagram. The terminology for the messages used in the UDP called datagram is a message which is transported using UDP. That is datagram. Okay. So to transport the datagram, so we need to have one class that is called datagram socket. Okay. And then the message will be constructed using datagram packet. Okay. And this message will be transported using datagram socket in our application. So that both these classes must be used in our program. Okay. And so as we already discussed, there is no connection between UDP, between the systems using UDP. Okay. And there is no guarantee. May or may not reach UDP receiver here. Okay. So it is used for creating LAN-based applications which transport small size messages. That is main kind of features for UDP. Okay. So see the datagram socket constructors to create the objects in our program. Okay. So one is a datagram socket with empty constructor with empty arguments here. So empty arguments nothing but it is not bounded to any available ports here. Okay. And the second constructor is datagram socket with the port number, so that here we can specify a port number as we already discussed. Here also port numbers must be used as ephemeral port numbers. Nothing but it should be greater than 1023. And then datagram socket with port number and IP address of local system here. Okay, or the local system thing, but so which creates datagram socket, the system IP address of the system which creates socket. Suppose if I am creating the datagram socket, so that my system IP address here we have to use, and as usual the port number here. But here also the same system IP address will be taken, but that system IP address will be taken automatically by default by which this datagram socket has been created. And then the datagram socket address which is a combination of IP address and port number. Okay. So with IP address and port number, if you create the object from the socket address, and the socket address object can be passed as an argument to the datagram socket. But here in these two constructors, we place or we specify the port number and IP address separately. But here in this constructor, so we combinedly do IP address and port number and create the object of socket address, and this socket address subject will be sent as an argument to the datagram socket. Okay, so at any cost, here we have to mention the port number, IP address. Okay, so the port number individually you can specify, or both IP address and port number you can specify individually, or combinedly you can specify the IP address and port number by creating the socket address object and send the socket address object as an argument to the datagram socket. Okay, so then out of this, so we are very frequently used the constructor datagram socket of port number. This will be very frequently used. And then see the datagram packet. So how we have to create a datagram packet which holds the message to be transported over the network here. Okay. So generally, you know all. So through the connection, through the CE computer networks, the messages will be transported in terms of bytes only. Am I right? Okay. So the datagram packet also holds only byte oriented information. Even though you create the strings in our program, that strings must be converted into bytes to create the datagram packet here. Okay, so that you see the constructors for datagram packet. The first one, datagram packet, byte and length. Byte array is a message in terms of byte array, and then length of this byte array. Length of this byte array. Okay. As you know, the packet in your computer networks concept, a packet generally consists of, if you see the packet, if anyone knows, what are the components of a packet? Please unmute yourself, those students who knows about packet contents, how packet has to be constructed, or what are the main components of the packet in a computer networks. If anyone knows, you please rise, you please unmute yourself and tell me.
Flag. So,
tell me.
Flag, header, data,
yeah.
trailer.
Okay, very good, very good. Main important component for the packet is header, and then next part.
Data. Payload or data.
Very good. Payload or data. Trailer. So you are using exactly the computer network terminology. Very good. Payload or data. So as per the computer networks, so we are not at all using the word called data which is transported. We have to use the word called payload. So is exactly equal to the data which is transported, but we have to use, as per the terminology of the computer networks, is a payload. Okay. So here the payload is this one. Byte array buffer is actually the payload which is transported, or which is held by our packet. Okay. And can you tell what are the components of header?
Source address protocol. Source address.
Very good. Source
protocol.
Address. Next.
Destination address protocol.
Very good. Destination address. Next. Protocol. Okay. So as we have used the protocol UDP, so that the UDP protocol will be there. Okay. Very good. Next. Any other components for the header? Source address, destination address, protocol used. Next. Any other components? Not only specific to protocol. So these are common components that should be there in the header part of the packet, irrespective of the protocol. You may use TCP or UDP or IP or data frames, whatever the protocol you are using. So the main components of the header, like source address, destination address, protocol, and then any other components. By seeing the constructors of this packet, you can be able to guess what other component for header. By seeing the datagram packet constructors, you can guess another important component of the header. Students, please see the datagram packet sockets and guess another important component for header. Can you able to guess?
Length, sir. Length.
Ah, very good, very good. So why do you take that much time? The length of the payload. Length of the payload. So these are 4 different components which are commonly used in the part of header in any protocol. In any protocol. Okay. So source address, destination address. Source address, destination address can be specified using a socket. So from the datagram socket, which you have already seen in previous slide, from this socket, so the source address and destination addresses are specified, and a protocol we are using UDP, so that by default UDP will be taken, and then length of the data will be taken from this argument, and the payload will be taken from this argument. So like this, the internally, whenever the computer networks use it to construct the datagram packet, so complete information and all this complete information will be gathered from our application only. Okay. So header information, payload information will be taken from this one, and source address, destination address will be taken from the socket which I have already created, and protocol will be taken by default UDP, so that we have used UDP protocol, and length also be taken from this argument like this. Okay. So these are the contents of the packet here. And see the next one, next content, datagram packet, byte buffer, int length, IP address, and port number. IP address and port number. So generally it is also been created, it is also used for creating the datagram packet by specifying the IP address and port number. But the thing is here, these two already been specified in the socket, so that no need to mention the IP address and port number again in the datagram packet, but still there is a constructor to create the datagram packet object using the IP address and port number itself. Okay. And then next one is buffer offset length. Okay. So what do you mean by offset here? Here offset can be used. So instead of sending a complete information from this array, to receiver, we can specify the offset byte number. So here, suppose it is a byte array, 08 position, first position, second position, third position, fourth position, fifth position, like this. I am specifying the offset like 2. Offset like 2. Then that indicates the information from this array starts from 2, 0, 1, 2. So here, from this position, whatever the information is there, that information has to be transported, and the remaining first 2 bytes will be discarded because offset is 2. Okay. And with this, how much length is there? That length we have to mention here as a third argument, like this. And on with this buffer offset length, and then address and port number we have to mention. Datagram packet, and this IP address and port number must be destination address here. These IP address and port numbers are destination IP address and destination port number here. And then buffer, offset, length and socket address. Socket address is combination of destination IP address and port number here. And then see buffer, length on only socket address without having any offset. So like this, these are the different kinds of constructors to be used for creating the datagram packet. See the program, example program for UDP. See this datagram socket DS. First of all, I am creating the object called datagram socket DS with 1024 IP address, 1024 port number and IA. IA is already been created, IP address. Okay. So what is IP address here? We have taken IP address from localhost. So localhost IP address should be like system name as localhost, or the localhost IP address by default will be taken as 127.0.0.1. So this will be in your CN subject. So there we can understand how this 127.0.0.1 will be there. So this 127.0.0.1 will always be treated as local IP address. At any situation, at any circumstances, if you are termed as a local IP address, that will be equal to 127.0.0.1. Okay, so this will be written by if you call get localhost method, and that get localhost method if you call, so then that IP address will be stored into the inet address IA. Inet address is a class in net package here. Okay, to represent IP address. To represent IP address in your program, in your Java programs, we have to use inet address. That inet address object is supplied as a second argument. Okay, to create the datagram socket here. And I'm just creating a simple text hello server x is equal to hello server is stored into the x. So as the datagram packet will transport the data in terms of bytes only, so that our information has to be converted into bytes. Am I right? So that to convert this information as bytes is very simple. We have to call get bytes method from the string object. From the string object, we have to call get bytes to get byte oriented information of corresponding text that is stored into the string. Okay, so x dot bytes. So we'll get byte array here, byte array B. Okay. Now we will see datagram packet. So datagram packet B is byte array. B dot length. So the size of text, and IA destination IP address. It is destination IP address. Just tell me what is the reason why we have to use IA here itself and IA here in this datagram packet. Can you tell if anyone knows about what is the reason and what is the context of IA used in the datagram packet? What is the context IA used here in the datagram packet? If anyone knows, please unmute yourself and tell me the reason. What is the context IA here used in the datagram socket? Context of IA used in the datagram packet. If anyone knows, please unmute yourself and tell me the reason. Students can't understand my question. Students, are you all online? Are you all close the session?
Sir, datagram socket is like connecting to the destination. So the destination.
Mm-hmm.
Connecting to the destination, and datagram packet means sending data to the destination address.
Sending data to the
Destination address.
destination address. here in the datagram circuit, what is the reason why we have to use IA?
To connect to that system, sir.
To connect to this IA.
Destination.
Yeah. So your datagram packet context is right, but you are wrong in datagram socket. You're wrong in datagram socket. Datagram packet context is right, whatever you are telling. So here datagram socket with IP address with localhost and datagram packet with IP address again localhost means here both the server and client are in the same system, as we know. So these are the processes, client process and server process. They are both running in the same system, so that destination IP address is also be a same localhost IP address. Okay, and so here port number is 8. The port number is 8. So 8 nothing but it is a server's port number. Client port number running in the 1024, but the server port number is 8. Okay, the server is running in the 8. Okay, so at 8th port number, the server is waiting to receive the client's information, which is transported from the client IP address. Okay, this is a datagram packet. And the next, so just we use the message called DS. DS nothing but datagram socket. Using this datagram socket, we have to transport by calling the send method to transport datagram packet. It's a very simple method. DS dot. Using socket, we have to transport, as we know. So that I am using the datagram socket. Using datagram socket DS dot. We have to transport the message using method called send. So DS dot send off, which has to be transported datagram packet, which we have created previously. So datagram packet. So using this method, so DP will be transported over the network. Okay. So whenever the DP will be transported, will be entered into the network. So that will be transported using the UDP protocol suite, and that will be received by this IA. What is this IA? 127.0.0.1. Again, this DP will be received by the same system. And inside this system, whatever the server is there, the server will receive this packet inside our system. Okay. So sending to the server. So it will print sending to the server with the content of the message which is sending to the server. And then again I am creating another one, buffer 50 size and buffer dot length. Okay. So here tell me what is the content of buffer and what is the size of the buffer here?
Empty, null.
So empty content. So here in the first argument buffer I am using, but it is empty content. And what is the length of the buffer here?
50, sir. 8 bits.
50. Here the client, after sending the information to the server, the client will be waiting with the empty data packet. With empty data packet with the size 50. Nothing but here this client is ready to take the packet from the network with the size 50. With the size 50. That means here that indicates here datagram packet in has been created. Okay. So it will call again datagram socket, which I have already created in previously, datagram socket ds dot receive of in packet. Receive of in packet. So ఈ డేటాగ్రామ్ ప్యాకెట్ ఖాళీ సంచి ఒకటి పట్టుకొని క్లయింట్ ఈ ఖాళీ సంచి ఒకటి పట్టుకొని తలుపు దగ్గర నుంచుందండి. అర్థమైన పాయింట్ మీకు? తలుపు దగ్గర ఈ ఖాళీ ప్యాకెట్ ఖాళీ సంచి ఒకటి పట్టుకొని తలుపు దగ్గర నుంచుంది. తలుపు దగ్గర నుంచుకుని ఏం చేస్తుంది? బయట నుంచి వచ్చేటువంటి ప్యాకెట్స్ ఏది ఈ ఇంట్ అడ్రస్ తోటి వచ్చేటువంటి లెటర్స్ ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో అవి తీసుకోవడానికి బయట చక్కగా ఖాళీ సంచి పట్టుకొని వెయిట్ చేస్తూ ఉంది క్లయింట్. ఎప్పుడైతే ఈ ఇంట్ అడ్రస్ కు వచ్చేటువంటి లెటర్ ప్యాకెట్ విత్ సైజ్ 50 వచ్చిందో అది వచ్చిన వెంటనే రిసీవ్ చేసుకుంటుందండి. రిసీవ్ చేసుకుని ఖాళీగా ఉంటుందా, లేదు దీని దగ్గర సంచి ఉంది కదా, దీని దగ్గర సంచి ఏంటి ఇక్కడ డేటాగ్రామ్ ప్యాకెట్. ఆ సంచిలో ఏం చేస్తుందండి అని అంటే తీసుకున్న కంటెంట్ ని నింపి సంచిలో పడేస్తుంది. ఈ సంచిలో ఏంటండి ఏముంటుంది, బయట నుంచి వచ్చినటువంటి కంటెంట్. ఎంత కంటెంట్, 50 కంటెంట్. సో అది తీసుకొచ్చేసి సంచిలో పెట్టేస్తుంది. ఆ పడేయడానికి జస్ట్ ఇట్ విల్ రిసీవ్ యూజింగ్ డేటాగ్రామ్ సాకెట్, ఇట్ విల్ రిసీవ్ ద ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఫ్రమ్ అవుట్సైడ్ which contains the information whose size 50. Okay, now in packet will be filled up. Am I right? In packet will be filled up by filling contents received from outside. Okay, so that is the meaning of ds.receive of in. Now this in packet holds the information. So in this situation, so buffer, nothing but the buffer will be empty. But here in this situation, after execution of ds.receive, so then in packet fill up with outside content. Now buffer will holds received data. Am I right? Buffer will holds received data, and that information will be printed here. String of buffer. So it converts. Buffer is converted. Buffer variable is converted into string by just creating new string of buffer. So then it will print the information received from the server. So like this, the client will be executed. And see that similar to that server also be there. So here datagram socket of 8. So here destination port number is 8. So the server must be created the datagram socket with 8 port number, so that the server is running on the port number 8, and then byte be buffer 50. So the client first sends the data. Now the server has to receive the data first. Okay, for receiving the information from any system. Okay, so the system or the process must create the datagram packet with empty. Am I right? So previously we have already seen byte b with 50 content. So now there is no content in the B. So B is empty with length 50. Now is ready to take or receive the information, and that information will be stored into the datagram packet. Okay, and fill the outside content into the B byte array, and that will be printed here. B is printed here. So received from the client. Now the server responds to the client by creating one string, hello client x, and x is converted into bytes buffer, and this bytes has to be sent by creating the packet to the client. Okay, so how it will be created, you see that one. So buffer with the content hello client and length of this buffer, and then in dot get address. What is meaning of in here? In is a datagram packet. So the server, the server doesn't know the client's IP address and port number. In previously in TCP IP, so a three-way handshaking has to be happened, so that both the systems and process has to be agreed by sending their IP addresses and destination IP address and destination port numbers, and their IP address and port numbers exchanged in the three-way handshaking, so that the information will be the destination port numbers and IP addresses will be known each other. But here the servers and clients doesn't know their IP addresses, other process IP addresses, so that address of the receiver process will be extracted from in. Okay, so how in is created? This in is created from outside packet. Am I right? As you know, as we already told, the packet consists of header, which consists of source IP address and source port number. Destination IP address and destination port number, like this. So that from the outside packet, all these headers also be included into in packet. From this in packet, so the server will extract the address of this datagram packet, which is source address for the datagram packet. It will be act like receiver address for this out packet. For in packet, this address, source IP address is the source address, but the same source address which is used in the in packet will be act like a receiver address in the out packet. And in.get port, okay, will extract the port number from the in packet. And after creating this out datagram packet, so we will use ds.send of out packet. Okay. So using the destination IP address which is there in the in packet and destination port number which is there in the in packet here. Okay. So after this, we just close socket itself here. Okay. So this is the way how we have to use the datagram, UDP client and server information. So we will see in the next class execution of UDP client and server. After execution of UDP client and server, so then we give you a list of applications, and as we already formed groups, so that each and every group will take a specific application and implement the application within stipulated time of period. Okay, so thank you. 1 minute, I am closing here.